Welcome back, everyone. Just another day in the life as a military wife. And it's just that time of year again. I'm super excited about Christmas because one of those people that would play Christmas music all year round if I was allowed to. I really do love Thanksgiving, and of course, Veterans Day is important to me. I don't forget those holidays at all, but I really love Christmas. I love so much. I love the traditions and the getting together with family and the decorations. It's a wonderful time, in my opinion. And so, this is going to have a holiday spin to it because there's a reason. There are things about Christmas that you need to plan for if they're going to happen by Christmas. And we are going to talk about several of them. So buckle on up. I am your host, Sam Wolf, and this is Life of a Military Wife. All right, so let's talk about this. As military families, I've mentioned before, we don't really get paid large quantities of cash for what we do. A lot of military families, especially around the holidays, will have significant budget shortfalls or struggles. And there are quite a few organizations that will assist military families with the holidays, but you need to apply like now. You have to apply closer to October and Halloween than Christmas because they need a heads up. And if you wait until end of November when people really start thinking about Christmas, a lot of these programs have already closed down their application process. That's one reason why I'm jumping on the bandwagon early to let you know about these things. I don't want people to miss out. So if you are a military family or you know a military family that is struggling and could use some assistance, then these are some amazing opportunities for them. And if by chance you are a family who is doing okay right now and would like to assist some military families in need, these are really wonderful programs to reach out to because they do really a wonderful job. Not every one of these programs do I have personal experience or secondhand experience with, but a lot of them I do. And I'm grateful, and I have friends who are very grateful for these organizations and the help that they render. That said, let's dig right in with our first one, which is Operation Christmas Spirit. Now, Operation Christmas Spirit, all of these ones have different groups that they focus on, and that's to maximize the amount of people who can gain assistance. Operation Christmas Spirit is a one-to-one organization, so they try to set military families up, have them adopted by another family directly. And they are currently looking for families. Now they have units can nominate their service members at Camp Pendleton, Myanmar, Naval Base San Diego, Quantico, Fort Sam Houston, Lackland Air Force Base, Fort Carson, Buckley Air Force Base, Peterson Air Force Base, Joint Base MacDill, Camp Lejeune, Lejeune. Obviously, I've not been stationed there. New River Air Station, Fort Belvoir, and Fort Bragg. Those are locations where if you are at that location and you know a family in need, units can directly nominate those families. Everyone else, it's an application process, and the first wave of applications started yesterday, but the site wasn't working, so it was 2 days ago. Anyway, it was November 1st and 2nd was the first round of application process, but the second round of applications is November 15th and 16th. That's why I'm getting this out early, people. To apply, you'll need your MIL ID, a current LES. An LES, for those who don't know, is a leave and earning statement. It's basically your paycheck stub. And basically they're looking for individuals who've not applied for other programs because, like I said, these organizations want to maximize the amount of good that they can do. They are looking for E5 and below, or any rank with 4 or more kids. And they're looking for people who need legitimate assistance. And they do take active duty families primarily, but they also will do Gold Star families. If you're a Gold Star family, you need to have children under the age of 17. Or you can do the post 9/11. Anyway, so those are some of the different aspects. If you don't fit that parameter for this organization, there are other organizations that can offer assistance. But yeah, so that is Operation Christmas Spirit. Sorry. But yeah, so they are the first ones I wanted to talk about. But yeah, each one of these organizations I'm going to address has different needs. And the reason, and different groups of people that they service. And the reason being is there are a lot of military families, active duty, veteran, etc., that have needs. And they want to be able to meet as many of these families' needs as possible. And so if each organization focuses on or reaches out to a different group, and if they do not allow double dipping, that means the larger number of families, as many families as possible, is going to be reached with at least one of these programs. That said, because Operation Christmas Spirit is a one-to-one organization, the more families they have that are able to adopt military families, the more families they can help. And there's a few organizations like this that they are really dependent on families that are willing to adopt a military family. So if you're in that position, please reach out to one of these organizations. Now, moving on to our next one. Now, this next organization is unique in the fact that you can adopt a family through this program. It's Spirit of Sharing as well, but you could also host a toy drive or a food drive if you wanted to help. And the other reason why it's unique is the fact that with this organization, military families that are in need don't apply directly. However, other individuals can nominate families for assistance. And basically, to do that, you'll need to include your name, phone number, address, and relationship to the family you're nominating. You need to include the family's last name, phone number, email address, each family member's name, relationship, and age. And then please take a moment. They're saying they really want you to just explain why this family really needs it. And I think that is awesome. There has been many times as a military family that we have wanted to help other families that we see that are struggling but haven't had the means to do it ourselves. And part of the reason why Spirit of Sharing is so incredible is it allows us to nominate families that we know are in need but don't have the ability to help ourselves. But again, if you are not a military family and you want to support military families, they make it really easy to do so in a number of different ways, either hosting food and toy drives or adopting a family directly yourself. So the amount of assistance and aid they can provide is relatively proportionate to the amount of volunteers that they get. So the more people who volunteer, the more families they can help. And if you know a military family, let's say you have a family member who's in the military and you know their family is struggling, this is a way, if you can't help them yourself directly, that you can maybe get them the help they need. Now, the next organization I'm going to talk about is Soldiers Angels. And Soldiers Angels, a lot of the ones I've been mentioning previously are not for veterans. Some of them are. But this one does have veteran programs, but it focuses largely on deployed active duty and veterans. So, and it has a bunch of different programs too. So it's got stuff for deployment support. It's got baby brigades. So if you know someone who is having a baby and their military service member is deployed, there's assistance that they can get there. Valor It, which is for the veterans, and then Women of Valor, and then Adopt a Family, which is their Christmas program. And I'm going to focus a little bit more on their Christmas program right now. But basically, you can register. Again, this one is where you can adopt a family directly. A lot of these are adopt family directlies. And in all sincerity, I don't remember which one of those directly adopt a family programs one of my friends was a part of, but she really loved it because the family that adopted them basically just asked for a list, or they were asked for interests on what the kids liked, and then they mailed them all the gifts, and because the family that adopted them lived in a different state. And that meant a lot to them. They really were grateful for the assistance they got that year because they were really, really struggling. If you are registering, then again, there is an application process, and they are particularly looking for families that are separated because of a deployment. Or if you are, I'm so sorry for her, she's being a little feisty. If you are a 9/11 wounded, ill, or injured, or you're currently enrolled in HUD or VASH. If you fall into any of those categories, then you can apply for Soldiers Angels. And they help with presents, but they also help with a gift card for groceries. So it does both. Like I said, some of the other programs will help with food or they'll help with presents. This one will do both. And so that's an option for some of these families that are struggling, especially if they're dealing with a deployment, because deployments can be really just money drainers, money pits, because you have to have if you want to stay in touch with your service member while they're deployed, you often have to have 2 different cell phone plans and international coverage and 2 internet plans, and just it really does start to stack up just all the different expenses that come with having 2 separate households at the same time. So that is one of the reasons why this program, particularly Soldiers Angels, can be very advantageous for families that have deployed service members. That said, the next program I want to talk about is Trees for Troops, and it's run by FedEx. And this one I actually have a little bit more experience with. Because military families run into weight limit requirements when we move, and we have limited storage space if we live on the installation. And the cost of artificial Christmas trees can be rather expensive. There are quite a few military families I know that do not have artificial Christmas trees. We don't. And buying a live Christmas tree every year can become rather costly. And if you do invest in a big artificial Christmas tree, lugging it from station to station and hoping that the movers don't break it and you have to replace it is stressful. So Trees for Troops is one that I am particularly fond of. Again, first year in the military, we really struggled, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this podcast and I want to try to reach out to new families, is so that they know about these resources that we weren't told about and had no clue existed our first year. And so our first Christmas, again, we didn't really have a tree per se. We had like this little itty bitty tree. And our kids were little, so they didn't know the difference, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't seem the same. So the next year we found out about Trees for Troops, and Trees for Troops is one of those projects. FedEx teams up with nurseries and tree lots, Christmas tree lots, where people go and buy their Christmas trees. And you can, if at certain Christmas tree lots, buy or give money, donate money to the purchase of Christmas trees for military families. If you don't happen to live next to one of the locations, then you can donate through their website online. And FedEx then delivers all of these Christmas trees to a lot of different military installations all over the continental U.S. And I think even in Alaska too, which does not count as continental U.S. according to the military. But anyway, they deliver all of these Christmas trees, and now every installation is responsible for the distribution process. So it will be different for every location, and you should find out locally what the distribution system is for you if you're interested in being involved. Our first duty station, they had a really organized system. They set up a time and a location where there was a lot of parking and space available for people to line up. And it was E5 and below had first dibs from, one point in the morning to another point in the morning. And then after that, it was free for all for any leftovers, regardless of rank. And so that's how it worked. And it seemed very, it functioned really well. They had usually a lot of single soldiers would volunteer to help the family members load the trees onto their vehicles just to make the whole process a little quicker. And then we got to our second duty station, and the first time we went to go pick up a Christmas tree, it was rather chaotic because a new person was running the program, and they had first given out vouchers to the chaplains, but they'd only given 3 vouchers to each chaplain. And quite frequently, they'll get several hundred trees donated to each installation. And so there was an excessive amount of trees left over. I believe there was something like 400 or more left over after the chaplains had gotten, the high need families or the higher need families taken care of. And there were still families that were struggling, just not quite as much, or strapped for cash a little because trees are expensive, like I said. Anyway, but because of that, they just kind of opened it up, and there wasn't a whole lot of organization, and it just didn't work very well because the location and everything just hadn't been thought through very well. So the next year they had a better location, a lot more space for parking and lining up, and they kind of just said, come and get it. And there ended up being more than enough for everyone who wanted one. So it worked out just fine. Anyway, I share that long story for a reason, and it's to illustrate that with Trees for Troops, they really do all go to military families, and they are really appreciated. It is one of the widely well-known and beloved Christmas outreach that at least a lot of the military families I associate with have used that program at least once, are well aware of it, and really genuinely love it. And addition to that, it also varies widely in the, direct, distribution process. So, like I said, I'm going to include websites for all of these organizations. And if you're a military family, share this information. There are more than enough organizations doing these things to go around. Let's share this information with one another and help each other out. Not to mention, on top of all of this, organizations like the YMCA, USO, VFW, churches, school districts will have their own programs to assist military families in their area. One place we were stationed, a neighboring town adopted my husband's whole unit. got every single kid a present, got all of the parents a present, purchased a whole holiday meal set for all of us, and threw us a big, huge party, which I was not expecting. It only happened once, but we were so just grateful to that little town to have all pitched in and done that for us. The mayor came to our Christmas party and everything, and it just meant so much to everyone. And we were really, really grateful. So that said, there is a lot you can do at this time of year to assist military families if you really want to, if that is something that you are interested in pursuing. So I would encourage you to reach out to these organizations, whichever one you feel comfortable with, or any other ones. Maybe you could talk to your school or your kid's school or your church or whatever organization you're a part of locally and start your own. There is a ton of need. If you're not next to a military installation and don't have as easy of an access to directly provide stuff like this, then there's these organizations that can. So I'd encourage you to reach out, share the Christmas holiday spirit. It's not just Christmas. Like a lot of these are labeled Christmas, but they will assist with holiday needs in general. So if it's Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or whatnot, yeah, they'll help out. And I think that's a wonderful way to share some love and kindness. To me, that's what Christmas is all about. I loved doing the 12 days of Christmas as a kid and leaving presents anonymously on people's doorsteps, or just baking cookies and Christmas caroling and taking them to people's houses. Giving is really so much of what Christmas is for me. And that's one of the reasons why I want to share this information, so that you have the opportunity to give. Or if you're struggling, you have the ability to ask for help, because that's the other side of the coin. Oftentimes, I feel like the people who really, really need help are embarrassed to ask for help. And when we allow ourselves to open up and ask for help, we're allowing someone else to serve. And just, to me, that just is the whole brotherly kindness, community spirit of what the holidays are. So that's my opinion and my take. Honestly, I had been joking with my husband about changing my theme song this time of year to have a Christmas one, but royalties and that all. So just pretend the theme song is now a Christmas song, because I wish it was. Anyway, I hope that you had a wonderful Halloween and that you have a wonderful holiday season in general, and you take the opportunity to reach out and help someone. And yeah, this is your host, Sam Wolf, and you're listening to Life of a Military Wife.